reference to a rock, which is actually probably goes way back, is the reference to the rock in the desert when Moses was in charge of the Israelites who had fled from Egypt. And they were out there in the desert and they ran out of water. And they were very unhappy. Moses spoke to God about it, and God said, go over there. There's a big stone sticking up out there, and strike the rock with your staff, and water will come out. And so he went over there and he struck the rock, and the rock was split and water came gushing out. This is a picture of Christ once again. And the striking of the rock represents the crucifixion. And if you remember, at the end of the crucifixion, when the Roman soldiers were told to kill the prisoners, the crucified victims, so that the Sabbath was about to start, and that was against the Jewish law to have people hanging on the cross during the Sabbath alive. And they stuck him with the spear. And out of his side came water and blood. This is a picture of the split rock. The water came gushing out. This goes way back. This is one of the first references to the rock. There's no telling how many more rock stories a person could come up with if he went through the concordance and picked out all of the references to the stone and the rock. These are just ones that came off the top of my head. Bottom line, if you think you can save yourself, I believe you're incorrect. I believe that no man can save himself. However, God can. Jesus came, the rock came, and he offered himself as a sacrifice to absolve the sins that we have committed. And the only requirement is that we fall on that stone, that we fall at the feet of Jesus and we say, save us, have mercy on us, we can't save ourselves. It's really a simple message. But because we have free will, and because we think incorrectly that we can save ourselves by our own works, then we are doing what those Jews at the time when Jesus came, we are stumbling on the stone. We are rejecting the stone that has become the cornerstone. We are failing to realize that the living water came from the rock that was struck. We are not building our house out of stone or on the stone foundation. And the waves and the wind will come and it will wash our house away, which means that we will be dashed to pieces. All right, this is the teaching of the Bible, plain and simple. The question is, are you going to believe it? It's all based on belief. Now, if you don't believe it now, there's There's still hope. You may come to believe it because you hear this story. I'm not the only one that tells it. All of the people out there that speak for Christ are telling this same story in their own way. My way of telling it is just what you heard. It'll be different than another person's way. If you are getting it, if the light bulb just came on, if you're sick and tired of living in that straw house or that house built of sticks, and you realize that it's fixing to be blown down, about half of it's already been blown down and the wind and the waves are battering it, that would be you. Your house is you. You're down in the ditch. You're not happy. You may not necessarily be on drugs or alcohol or something like that. You may be an upstanding citizen. Don't think that because you're successful, in fact, that might even be worse. A person that's down in the ditch throwing up probably going to come to Christ sooner. Or as Jesus said, the prostitutes and the tax collectors will enter the kingdom before you, speaking of the religious leaders. I'd like to urge you to come to Christ today. Today might be the day. I would suggest today is the day if you're hearing me. How do you do it? You fall on the rock. You fall down on the rock and you plead, Jesus save me, Yeshua save me, I can't do it myself, I cannot stop doing these things, but I want to, save me, and He will save you. And then, once He saves you, and He'll save you as soon as you ask Him, then you're going to turn around from facing the darkness, which is the sin you're in, sins of immorality or sins of loving money. There's all kinds of things. Trusting in yourself for your own salvation, that's the darkness. Keep going down that road. It gets darker and darker and darker down that road. There is a point, according to Jesus, where you cannot turn around. And you'll be stuck in that darkness, whatever that means. And I feel quite sure that it's not good. And you're going to face the light. The light is coming up, and I want you to face it. I'm going to ask my camera lady to point the camera there toward the light, which is the sun coming up over the trees. I don't know what it's going to look like on the camera, but the sun is coming up. That is the direction of the stone. That's the direction you need to go in. All right, that's the end of my talk. That's what came out of my mouth today. I want to end it with the Lord's Prayer, and then when I get through with that, and I want you to say it with me if you will, we're headed toward the light. I'll end it when I get through with this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.